Hey residents of Meepletown, today we're going to be looking at the 2018 Kennerspiel des Jahres winner, The Quacks of Quedlinburg by Wolfgang Warsch. So the city of Quedlinburg every year holds a bazaar and invites all the local doctors and quacks and charlatans. They all come around to showcase their healing remedies, and in this game we're going to see if we can create the greatest elixir, if I can speak, of them all. So I say let's dive in and let's look at The Quacks of Quedlinburg by Wolfgang Warsch. Hey Meepletown, this is what Quacks looks like when it's set up and ready to roll. One thing that I do like about this is that it does have variable setup. So you'll see things like these booklets here that are going to tell us what our ingredients do for the course of this game. One of the cool things is they have different sides. So like sometimes the red tokens will act one way, in other games they'll react a different way. You can actually mix these all up and have different ways they react, which is really, really cool. Besides that, we're going to set these cards over to the side. We're both going to get flasks. We're going to get these rats. Both get one ruby. Put our droplets starting on 0, and we are really ready to play. We're going to have this flame here on the first round marker, and I'm going to show you all how to play as I play the game. That way we can just dive right in and see what it looks like. So for the beginning of round 1, we are going to look at what round we're on. Of course, we're on round 1 because they may set off bonuses or something may happen at the beginning of the round. Nothing happens at the beginning of nothing special happens at the beginning of this round. So we'll do this like any other round, which begins with drawing one of these cards. And the blue player, my opponent, I'll play the red player to the right. They are going to be the first player in this game. And it says, all right, so it's a blue background. There are two kinds. There's a purple that gives you like an immediate action, and then a blue that has something that goes over for the course of the whole round. This says, in this round, you may put back the first white chip in your draw, that first white chip you draw back into your bag. So that's pretty important because we're going to be drawing these chips out, and we'll be drawing them one at a time. But these white chips right here are what we do not want to have these numbers accumulate more than 7, 8 or more. Because if that happens, then our pots are going to explode. And it's denoted right here that we don't want anything greater than 7, and that's the added up value of the white tokens ingredients. Then our pot explodes, and it hurts us because we won't be able to buy new ingredients or get victory points. We get to choose. We also are not going to get to roll the bonus die either. So it's not the end of the world to explode your pot, but it's not good. You'll also notice as we get ready to start pulling these out that every bag starts off. It has this nice little reminder here what you have in your bag to start off. 1 number 3 white, 2 2s, 4 1s, a green 1, and a orange 1. So blue is going to start off by drawing these out of the bag. Blue draws a 2 white immediately and says, thank you, that in this round you may put the first white chip you draw back into the bag. Let's put that right back in there, and let's try that again. Okay, a 1 white, that's better than 2. So what we're going to do now when we place them in the pot is we're going to look at the last token that we have, so it'll be our droplet that starts off, and we're going to put whatever number this is that many spaces away from our last token. Since that only has a 1 on there, it means we're just going to put it 1 space away from that first droplet. Here's another number 1. So we're going to put it 1 space away. We're trying to get further and further along this track to score us higher victory points and get us the chance to roll these dice. So now a 2, 1, 2. So this is not great. She already has 4 points and hasn't drawn out anything but the white ones. She now has 5 points and hasn't drawn out anything but the white ones. And you see here how, because it was a 2, I skipped that one, so I went 1, 2. So she could draw a 3 out right here, but she's going to take the risk. Oh, 1, 2, 3. So she has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Her pot has exploded. So that is not good, but it will be good to show you what happens when that takes place. So, wow, she only drew out the white ones. Not good. Red player is now going to start, and it says that you may put the first white chip you draw back into the bag. I mean, might as well put it back in the bag. No reason not to. I mean, I guess it's 1 might be better than drawing a 3 immediately. Draw another 1. Okay, so I'm starting off just exactly like she did. 1, 2. Literally exactly like she did. Okay, let's see what happens here. Now a 3, 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I have 7 here, I am stopping. If I draw anything else out of the bag, it's going to have 8, and it's going to cause my pot to explode. Okay, so that's how the first part of the round ends here. Now we're going to go through this quick checklist, and that is going to start with us looking to see who got furthest along in their pot. But that person, they could not have their pot explode. As you'll see here, she actually got further than I did. However, her pot exploded, so she's not going to get to participate in this, meaning that I am going to get to roll this die and get whatever bonus it has on there. So it's a victory point, so I will start with 1 victory point there. We'll move along here to see if there's any black, green, or purple ingredients that have come out, and they didn't, so nothing happens there. Now we're going to look and see if any of our spaces are next to the rubies, which she actually is next to a ruby, and even though her pot exploded, she's actually going to get to take a ruby and put it into her bag there. Mine does not have a ruby there. And we are not looking at the place that our last token lays. We're looking at the place to the right, the next spot. So that's where she's at there. So she's actually going to get a ruby, which is not bad. Now we're going to look at our victory points. I've got 1, she has 1, but we're also going to look at these numbers here, which are going to help us to buy ingredients. Now, because my pot did not explode, not only am I able to roll this die if I go further, but I get both the victory points and the money to buy more tokens. So I get 1 victory point here, and I'm going to get 8 to spend on new ingredients. She is going to think, you know what, 1 victory point at this point in the game is not the end of the world. She wants more ingredients to put into her bag, so she's got 9 to spend. Now, when we're buying these, we can buy 1 or 2, and they cannot be the same color. So, and this is a cost right here below the actual token. So she has 9, and so she's thinking, what is she thinking? I think she is going to grab a red and another orange, which is a pumpkin, and she'll grab the number 1 because that's the number, that's what she has the money for. And what these are going to do, I'll tell you as we go back, the pumpkins don't do anything by in and of themselves, except for one thing, they're not white and it gets to move along. But the reds say if there are already orange chips in our pots, we move the red chip forward according to the chart. So if there was already an orange in our pot and I pulled a red out next, I get to go forward an extra space. If there's 3 of the orange ones out, then the red gets to go forward 2 extra spaces. So she's thinking maybe she can build a little bit of an engine there where she's getting her red chips to go forward a little bit further. Now I have 8, and the interesting thing is you don't get to keep the money or whatever you have left over. So if I spend like 5, then I'm going to lose, well, there's a 3, so I'd be fine there. But if I spent 6, that'd be a better example. There's nothing that costs 2, so I would just lose 2. So what do I want to do? Man, I really like these. I've got 8, so I think I'm going to take one of these and one of these. So I'm going to take a 1 blue and a 1 orange, and I'm going to put that into my bag. Even though I don't have any reds, but that's still going to be my choice. All right, the last thing that I'm going to do before I end the round is I'm going to have the choice. If I want to, I can spend 2 rubies to either move my droplet forward 1 spot permanently, meaning I'm further along for the rest of the game in every round, or I can refill my flask. So what this is, your flask is if you drew a white token out, you could actually flip your flask over to put that white token back into your bag. However, if it caused your pot to explode, like it caused her pot to explode, you cannot do that. So you can only put the white one back into the bag if it did not cause your pot to explode. Also, the only way to refill your flask is to pay 2 rubies, so it's costly to do that. She is going to actually say, you know what, I want my dropper to go further. So she's going to go ahead and pay the 2 rubies to move her droplet forward 1 space. I'm dropping these everywhere. And then she's going to put the rest of her tokens right back into her bag. I don't have 2, so I can't do it. So I'm going to put my tokens back into my bag. And I am going to start the next round. So we're going to move this round marker down to 2, which has the little mandrake there, meaning that we're going to have an opportunity to purchase some yellow ingredients. The mandrake is pretty cool. It's going to allow us, if I draw a mandrake out directly after I pulled a white chip out and put it into our pot, then the mandrake actually allows you to take the white and put it right back into your bag. So a really cool way to get some of those white ingredients out of your pot and back into your bag. I like that quite a bit. Okay, so now that we have that done right there, we're going to do one more thing before we draw this card here. We're going to look for rat tails. So this game, Quacks has a catch-up mechanism where we're looking at the first player versus where everyone else is and how many rat tails are in between them. So because Blue has not scored any points, there is a rat tail between her and me, meaning she's going to take this rat and go 1, because she has 1 rat tail, and go ahead and have her droplet to start on 3, which is 2 spaces ahead of mine, which is quite nice for her. So at the end of the round, this will go back here. So this only happens, you look at that at the beginning of the round. Now that that is done, all right, red is going to flip this over, and it says, wow, choose, take any 1 4 chip or 1 victory point for each rat tail you get this turn. So she can, I didn't get any, so I want the 4 chip. She can get 1 victory point, but she's thinking, I don't care about the 1 victory point right now. A 4 chip is extremely powerful in this game. So, and you can see how expensive they are. So I'm going to go for the 4 blue. I like this because the blue chips, what they do, and like I said, I'm going to kind of explain them as the game goes, is if I have a 1, 2, or 4, it is actually going to allow me to, with this 4 one, I get to draw 4 chips out of my bag and pick 1 that I put in my pot, or none of them to put into my pot. If I have 1, I get to pick 1 out of my bag. So this is huge. She really likes that idea. She really does, but she also likes, she's going to do something different just for the sake of doing something a little bit different. And I have the ingredients off camera to keep this a little bit tighter, by the way. She's going to pick the 4 Mandrake, hoping that she can build kind of an engine where she's canceling out a lot of these white tokens. So she's going to go heavy Mandrake in this game. All right, so that is the end of that. So now that the red is the first player, red's going to be drawing. Now, if we're playing this game with other people, this is actually done simultaneously, which is really, really nice. One thing I like about the game as well is the simultaneous play. But because it's just me doing both players, we're going to have to go one at a time. All right, so far, not too bad. Ooh, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3, 4, 5. I'm still not in danger. There are no 3s, whites. So I'll keep moving forward. Hopefully I won't draw. Ooh, a 4. Oh, this was an amazing one to pull out right now because I get to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Additionally, I get to draw 4 of these out of the bag. So 1, 2, 3. And draw 1 more, 4. And of course I'm going to pick the green one here and draw that out of the bag. So now I have 3, 4, 5 still. So I actually don't even think I have anything good, but white wants to draw the bag. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I knew I was going to draw one of those white ones, but it moved me further along. So I actually had a really nice round over here. Okay, so the blue player is going to start drawing these out of her bag. She draws a red and is not happy about that. She's okay with it, but she really wanted to have a pumpkin out because then that would have allowed her to move the red one further along. But as you can tell, she's further along because of her rat and her droplet being moved forward. Ooh, 1, 2, 3. So she could take this flask right now and use it, but she's not going to because she's thinking, she didn't have a ton of ingredients in the bag. She's going to be drawing out some white ones. She's thinking, I'm going to save that for a later round. All right, so here you go, 1, so 5, and she could stop there because with the greens, if it is the last chip or next to last chip in the pot, she could pay 1 ruby to move her space, 1 droplet, but I forgot she spent a ruby, so it does her no good. All right, so there's 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what she does? She could draw 2 out like she did last time. The odds are in her favor, but she's thinking, you know what? I exploded the last pot. I cannot do it again, so I'm going to stop right here. All right, so now that that's happened, we're going to go back through this again. Blue player is further along, so blue player is now going to roll. Get a red player, 1, 2 victory points. I don't even remember what color I am. 2 victory points here. We're going to move over here and see about these green tokens and purple and black. No one has a black token or purple, which the purple will come out actually in the next round. Alrighty, so I actually do have a green one that's next to last, so I'm going to spend a ruby to move my droplet forward permanently 1 space there. She doesn't. Hers is second to last, but she doesn't have any rubies to use, so she can't do that. She's going to now, and this is why you have to go in this order. She is going to. Oh, no, she doesn't. Never mind. Now we're going to look to see if there's rubies in the space next to ours, which there's not. If I would have been one further, I would have gotten that. Now we're going to look at victory points. We're both going to get both of these, so I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 victory points. She's going to get 1, 2 victory points this turn, and then I'm going to have 15 to spend. She's going to have 11 to spend. So the first thing I'm going to pick here is I'm going to pick a black one, just so I can tell you all what this one does, at least on this side of the book. This says if you draw as many black chips as the other player, you get to move your droplet forward 1 space permanently. If you draw more, then you get to move the droplet forward and you get a ruby. So I like that. And she's thinking, well, let me go ahead and let me do my other one. So I also have a 5 left. And with the 5 that I have left, I'm going to get another one of the 1 blues. Now, she has 11 to spend. So she's thinking a couple things. She's thinking, 1, she could pump that Mandrake engine a little bit better. Which would, she's also thinking, though, she doesn't like that I have a black one here, because if she doesn't draw it out, then I can really just keep moving my droplet forward a lot of spaces. But, what is she going to do? You know what? She is going to go ahead and draw one of these because she doesn't want me to do that. And she's going to put that back into her bag. She's going to put the rest back into her bag. She's going to clear off this. We're also going to look here and see if we want to spend 2 rubies, but none of us have any rubies, so we cannot do that in this game. So we're going to reset it and look for next round. And I will say that even though we're not going to play through the next round, we would be pulling this one out. Which, again, there's different sides on it, but this side right here, I'll just put over tops. It gets me victory points or victory points in rubies or moving our drop forward based on how many of the purple ones have actually come out over the course of the game there. So, or not over the course of the game, but over the course of a round, whenever we're pulling these out from our pots. So that's what would happen. Also, we would, again, don't forget, we would count the rat tails, which would be 1. So she would actually get to move her rat tail back up another space for that. So that is a couple rounds of Quacks. So let's talk about art and components really quickly. One thing I'm going to point out is that these are the Geek Store Deluxeified bits here. So normally you would have these. So if you've been looking at this and you've been thinking, wow, those bits look really nice, they're normally these cardboard ones, which aren't bad. They're just, this is a lot nicer. I like these quite a bit. So overall, the components, they're cool. I like the way that like the flask fits on the table and the pot looks like it's open. You've got these things here. You've got this flame that's wooden. You got the books out here. As far as components are concerned, they're all adequate. I mean, they're fine. Nothing to blow your mind. The cards are actually good quality. I like that quite a bit. So the cards are good stock. Everything else is just, it's good. It's not blowing your mind, but it's not bad. But art-wise, I love the art in this game. I quite enjoy the art. I love how it has that overhead look on the pot. I really like the box art on this game. I like the characters, the people that they've drawn. I think the art is really, really cool. So let's talk about gameplay. All right, so as far as gameplay is concerned, I mentioned earlier, I do like the variable setup. I like that there's a lot of variation in the way the game is played and the different ingredients and stuff that you're getting. There's also a way even to flip the pot over, your giant pot, and whenever you're moving your droplet, you can move it in the middle, or you could unlock bonuses at the bottom, which is actually really, really cool and really neat. So definitely a plus for variability whenever it comes to setup. Whenever we're playing the game, I like, another positive is, I like bag builders. I'm a fan of Orleans. Now, this isn't like that in the sense that there's a whole lot more luck involved in this game, I believe. But I like drawing those tokens out of the bag and seeing what you're going to get and what you may draw next. That's fun. That's a fun experience. Every time I play this, or everyone is verbally going, yeah or no. Like, everyone generally is really into it, and that's fun. It really is fun to hear people going, no, I can't believe I drew that, or yeah, and like jumping up and down, all excited about it. So that's a really fun part of this game. I also do like that you are making I like the choices that you're making as you're determining what ingredients to put into your bag. That's fun. It's fun picking which token and trying to build some kind of an engine to go, okay, I think I want to go this direction during this game. Because again, because of the variable setup, you can have obviously different directions, different games, because you may have one side of the black token, for example, on one side this game, and mixed with the other one side of the red, and then it's flip-flop the next game. So there's different things that you're beginning to think about and going, okay, what's the best way to build this bag? So I thoroughly enjoy that. So those are some good positives. Now, I will say this. It's not, negatives for me personally is it's definitely not overly strategic. Now, I'm a guy that generally likes a good strategy game. And here it's cool that you have variation in what tokens, your ingredients you're putting into the bag, but it's not highly and overly strategic. And that's okay. I don't think that it was designed to be that way. It won the Kenner-Spiel, which is, I understand why it won the Kenner-Spiel, because it is a good game. But again, it's not a big negative for me. Is I just wish that there was more going on over the course of the game. I wish I had more choices, some more tracks to go up or down, or different things like that, to where I'm not just you're basically picking what ingredients you want in your bag and yanking them out of the bag and hooting and hollering and having a good time. So with that being said, here are my final thoughts on the game. As far as a game that's just a lot of fun to play, this is just that. It's a hoot. I'll say I am not a person that's just all about playing games like this, though, that's like, all right, I can't wait to just play a game that doesn't have a ton of strategy and we're just going to have fun. But I'll say this, when it comes to those games, this is one of the best. Like, no doubt. Like, this could be like my favorite game that is just silly fun. I'm yanking these out of the bag because there's just enough strategy to keep me engaged in it, and there's that fun of pulling those tokens out of the bag that I like a lot, which is really, really great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Quacks of Quedlinburg, the base game, very solid, actually 7.5 out of 10, which is pretty big for me because I don't generally give games like this super high scores. That's my personal taste. You may think it's a 10 out of 10, and if you do, I think that's really amazing, because every gamer plays games for different reasons, and there's different things that I like about games that you may not like about games. That's why I like to show the playthrough, or at least a little bit of the gameplay, because this may be 1000% up your alley. With that said, though, even though it's not really totally my style, I think it's a blast, and I'm probably going to pick this game up because it'll be so much fun to play with family. It'll be really, really fun to play with people that come over to the house and want to throw out a game. And I do really like this game. 7.5 out of 10 is a good score. So let's flip over. I'm going to have Dean just slide in on this and give you his thoughts on the game.
Hey Meepletown, I'm just going to chime in really fast about my thoughts on Quacks of Quedlinburg. I couldn't let John just steal this whole review because I wanted to make sure that I got to talk about a game that I do enjoy. So Quacks, the thing that I like about it is the hooting and hollering and the cheering that happens when you play this game. Yeah, it's luck-based. Yeah, there's, you can really draw poorly. But the fact is, everyone can do that. And if it provides this fun experience that when you do draw poorly, you're cheering and laughing because that happened. Or, if you have these really great draws where you draw exactly what you need to move around the board faster, that also provides for a lot of fun. So for me, because of that, and because this is a game that my wife and I quite enjoy to play together, and it's quick, the way that every round moves so fast, this game gets an 8 from me. I really enjoy it. I'm probably not going to turn down a play of it because it's just that much fun. Maybe not the most strategic game. Maybe it is luck-based. It is luck-based. I'm okay with that because it's fun.
All right, so I give Quacks a 7.5 out of 10. Dean gives it an 8 out of 10. If you are enjoying our channel, we would really encourage you to subscribe to our channel because it helps us greatly. Also, we are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All of those we're at Meepletown Games. We have a podcast on Spotify, on iTunes, Google Play, on Stitcher. We're also Board Game Geek Guild 3407 if you want to get into the discussion with us. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.